What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Bill, Brad, Cheryl. Good morning to Cindy, Corey, Georgia. We got Joe, Justin, Lauren, Marius in the house. Good morning to you, Martina, Mike, Rob, Shane, Tim. We got I don't even this is like an email address. This is like a futures address. I'm just gonna go with Zas for that one. We'll go with Zas. Good morning to you. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to all of you. We got Real Virtual Man. All my other lurkers. That's okay. I still love you. Just hit that like and subscribe button. And strong close for the week on the SPY. Obviously, ahead of the Fed this week, and that's gonna be the big news. Which I saw they were meeting tomorrow. I thought they always somebody let me know when the Fed's coming out with their actual rate cut meeting, because from what I was looking at, they usually come out on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, but it sounded like they were meeting tomorrow. So I'm not sure if that was tomorrow or they're just meeting tomorrow and then the decision comes on Wednesday. So not sure, but somebody let me know on that one. But otherwise, we got SPY, pretty good weekly candle right off that 20 EMA off the weekly. Good close above the previous week, which was some selling. So obviously some strength still in this market. Also at a big resistance from this last little pivot. And this entire move could be a little bit of a retest just into that last breakdown spot. That being said, if again, it's very tough to short the market. All it does is just continuously go up higher. But from a risk to reward purpose, if you do want to take a stab at a short, you got a pretty good risk to reward right around here. So if you're getting in somewhere short here, throw some stops somewhere at like 565. Not bad. Emily posted decision is Wednesday too. So I guess they're meeting tomorrow and then they'll have their conference Wednesday. So we'll find out Wednesday, I guess. But again, if you're gonna go short, not that there's any indication right now that we are short or should be leading short, especially with a nice strong kind of close last week. But the risk reward's there. So again, especially if you have a lot of positions in the long term, you're trying to protect. You're a little bit nervous heading into the FOMC meeting. Any of that, the market is giving you good risk reward into it, and we'll see how it kind of pans out from here. But pretty strong close nonetheless last week. We got SPY. I mean, essentially all green candles every single day last week, which is crazy. Support for today. We're slightly under support with this little gap down. Thanks a lot, Apple. We'll get to that. But otherwise, I've got Friday's VPOC, Friday support resistance, 561.72-ish. We're opening a tad under that right now, so you do have a little bit of resistance. Maybe we get some kind of bullish move out of the gate, see if that resistance holds. Support for the day, there's a bunch of supports. Depends on how crazy this market wants to get to. And then we'll go with the higher resistance first. The next big resistance, if we could start clearing, yeah, right there still. 561.70. So if we can start breaking above that, we could remain bullish. Otherwise, if we start rejecting that, the next spot down is about 560.86. And maybe get down to like 559.62. And then a big one will be 558.51. So there's a few levels of support within here. If we have trouble breaking out continuously, just going bullish, maybe we get some chop. Maybe we get some chop around, which would make sense if we get a decision from the Fed that we're kind of just waiting on Wednesday. We could see a little bit of a chop fest. But otherwise, if the market is just anticipating everything good from the Fed, we break through. We're using that 561.70 now as support. We can get a little crazy into the Fed, which will be pretty nothing short of amazing, putting the bar extremely high for the Fed to come out and do what the market wants. And then at that point, even if they do what the market wants, maybe that becomes a big sell the news type of situation. Q's got resistance, so it's a little bit of a further gap down. We got 474.96 would be our resistance. There is still one more resistance ahead of that for 74.50. And we're a little bit above the next kind of support, 472.51. If that starts to break, we could sell off a little bit deeper to 467.02. So we'll have to watch those levels. Bitcoin, BTC, USD. It's kind of a little bit all over the place this weekend. Good strong day. What was this on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then today we'll continue to sell. Still holding a 20 EMA. Big support on this one. I guess our major support on this one would be 58,100. So if we start breaking down through that, we start getting through this little pretty decent candle with some good volume. I think next little support is 56,511. Looks like we're already trying to get a little bit of a bounce, so we're trying to hold on to that 20 EMA. Maybe we get some kind of rally, but it does look like a little bit of a chop so far. If we start breaking above 58,721, that should be our resistance. I don't really have another resistance up until probably this 200, which also lines up with some of the VPOCs from over here. So somewhere around 59,268. I think we got to get back above that 200, and then maybe crypto could continue its rally. Apple, AAPL. So a lot of things kind of gapping down on Apple. I think there's a report, even though the phone's not out yet, the iPhone 16, they do have reports that saying, I guess, the pre-orders are less than expected so far. So maybe not a lot of enthusiasm as much as they thought for the iPhone 16 quite yet, at least. But then again, they don't actually have AI with it. They want you to buy the phone first, and then eventually AI will come. So realistically, why not just hold on to your phone till you see what the AI actually could do, if it works, if it's useful. So I don't know, but this is a pretty interesting spot on Apple. We have some tweezer bottoms down here, so a little bit of support. I wish this one was a little bit higher. 217.38. So I wish it was a tad higher from where it's at. We still have 21 minutes. Maybe the Bulls could kind of drag it back up. And then the next resistance would be 219.97. So that would give us a little bit of room. Otherwise, not loving the open. Still got support, not too far away. 215.59, and then the next one after that gets us down to 212.93. I think we start breaking those tweezers. That would be a good spot to look a little bit lower. So I got Apple higher on the list. Anything else that works with Apple, that's tech related. A lot of the chips getting kind of beat up as well. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia's gapping down, I think $2. Yep, still $2. Not bad. One mini level of support that we're at now. Nothing too crazy. Otherwise, I think there's a lot of room on this one to the downside. My real target on this one will probably be about 110.70. There is a few other levels we can get held up within kind of this chop zone. I got to put this one higher on the list, though. We'll see. And then we still have the 50 EMA and the 20 EMA. We could all get kind of held up on that, too. What I would like to see on this one, again, what I would like to see doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. But I would not mind seeing this thing get bought up into probably this range. So you go short here, you get your stop up there somewhere. And then I think you have a decent room for a bigger pullback. So or I'd even go high wave opening candle, green high wave out of the gate would be fun. But it's got a lot of room. You do have those kind of moving averages that could prevent us from hitting that bigger target, and then there's a few other key levels. I would say, I guess their first stop would be 114.46. So we start breaking down a little bit further. We'll go for that. If that could break down, then I think we hit that 110.60. So not bad for a little pullback. MU, who does a lot of the chips for the phones, they're getting killed, but that's good for us because I'm not filled on my swing trade yet. I still got my order. I thought we missed it. I think we could get filled now. So resistance on this one is 88.33. Next support down is essentially where we have our entry, 86.82. So I'm hoping we do, and this is a gap and go to the bear side. So I'm hoping we come back down a little bit further. We get filled. Once you get filled, we got some support coming in. I think 86.10. I don't really want to break that, or we might be into a little bit of a trouble. Could be a quick R. We'll see. Because this is definitely a gap to go. We got to kind of work ourselves back up. But my entry's still open. I still got the trade out there, so we'll see if I get filled and how this thing wants to play out. I did want to pull back. This would be it. I don't like it coming off of a gap and go to the bear side, but we'll see. We'll see if that one gets filled. So I do see a little bit more downside for this one. Maybe if you get bought up, look for resistance somewhere around this 88.45 zone. SMCI. Gap and go also, and that one is at a pretty big support. They've been crushed a lot more than most chips. So I'm wondering if they have as big of a downfall today, if the support might actually be a little stronger than some of the other ones. Big support on this one would be 440, 440.94. That being said, we are actually opening at a decent support. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days bullish. I think if we start breaking this 440.94 zone, that should get us into 425.41. So it's got some downside, but I think we get some chop first. I don't know that if MU's down, Apple's down, Nvidia's down, that SMCI has enough to rally and go bullish. Maybe it does, because again, it is down a lot more than some of the other chips. Otherwise, I still have a lot of room on this thing. I think SMCI probably chops today. Probably chops, but we'll scoot this one up higher. If we start getting some breakdowns, I wouldn't mind going short. Tesla. Brian says Wednesday at 11. MU, we looked at. Apple had lower than expected iPhones. Yep. Nvidia, we looked at. Man, we're on the same page. YouTube, we'll cover most of them. All right, we'll go through. There's a couple others out there too. All right, we got Tessie. Tessie is pulling back with the rest of the market. We did get up into on Friday pretty big resistance, somewhere around 231.40, we'll call it. This is a bunch of bull days in a row. We're not really dipping as much as some of the chips. I don't think we can get affected as much by the Apple iPhone. Uh, I would expect some chop. I've got support 228.75. We could probably come out a little bit closer, better numbers. Yeah, still 228.85 would be support, and then resistance 229.61. We've already messed with this 231.28 a few times. This is the second time recently. We messed with it over here. I think if we get up there again, we might have a strong day in a bull direction if we can get past some of those numbers, which would take us up to 238.80. The same note, if we try to get up there, we fail. We start breaking, I think, under this 228.85. We could have a decent pullback into this 223 zone again. So it's actually got a wide range on both sides. The bull side has a little bit more room. But I would love to see some consolidation on it. Out of the gate, 15 minutes consolidation, something like that. See how it wants to play from there. Honestly, I think this could go either way. I think we've messed around with this 231.30 zone enough where if these bulls come in, we start breaking again. I think they have the ability to push a decent amount higher. And then the question is on the daily, do we want to pull back first? I don't think we have to. But one more big move like that, and then we go. There's a lot of money in here, even on that pullback. So I don't mind the short, I don't mind the long. I got to see which way we're kind of breaking first on this one. Tesla's already up pretty high on the list. All right, we'll watch that one. Disney. The Disney. Retest gap. Do they have news? Yeah, tech is a little bit on the weaker side today, and then a lot of these other staples a little bit stronger. Disney deal with DirecTV, Blackout, ESPN. Yeah, a lot of the consumer stocks are popping a little bit today. This is a retest gap into a big resistance. I do think this one probably fades at open. I don't know if I'd look to play to the short side. You have support at $90.49. So I think if we fail at open, we come down, look for that 90.49 to hold. And if it is holding, maybe we get a candle around there for a break. Otherwise, the next stop on this one for target to the bull side, probably for today, 91.41. And then watch 90.75. If we start opening or breaking above that, that would be at least I think the cue to stay bullish into that next target. The one after that, if it breaks, 92.92. Got some room. We got some room on it. DJT. Yep, another crazy world we live in. Another assassination attempt on Trump. The last time there was an assassination attempt, DJT went crazy. We are gapping up a little bit so far. Good volume came in on Friday, a little bit of a blow off top kind of. Although we're not at the top, we're just rejection of the 20, I guess. I think on this one you still have some resistance around $18.51. If we get above that, I got a few more levels. Next one up, $20.08, and one after that, 21.04. And then I think a big one would be into this like 21.80 zone. So obviously has the ability to move. There was obviously some Trump news from Sunday. So maybe this has some momentum in it. We'll watch it. I'd like to see a little pullback first. If I'm gonna try it, give me like $18.01 for some kind of entry. INTC. Also, retest gap pushing into some resistance. So your resistance is about $20.18. I think did they have a deal or they got some US money? I thought there was some kind of $3 billion deal or they posted some kind of revenue or something. But regardless, watch $20.18. So again, pretty close to resistance. We do have there was a defense deal. Yeah, US government defense deal. All right. But there's your reaction already, I think. Into this target of $20.18 as a retest gap. I think this one probably fades. If you do want to try it long, it's again, you maybe Intel has the ability to kind of turn things around. To what extent? Who knows? I don't mind it at the $20 price, especially if you don't have positions or you're just trying to dollar cost average. Not a bad location, honestly. I know everything is all negative on Intel today, but if you're in there for the long term and you think Intel can turn it around, you're buying and holding for 10 years. So this could be a decent opportunity looking back, but give me like $19.73 if you're going to try it. Even as a trade, give me somewhere in that price range. Have a stop at like 18.46 for a swing. But good news at least. At least they secured a deal. Now we just got to see if we could get that pullback. Find a little pullback on it. Coinbase. Coinbase. This one's gonna move pretty much like Bitcoin, which Bitcoin had a little bounce off support. This is a bearish gap and go, but you have first support. I don't know how strong this one's going to be, but I would look for like 156.89 and then probably 154.49. So I don't know if I have enough room to the downside to play this thing short. Any crazy volume? Nothing really. I guess the last bull volume was this one. So I think anything under 154.79, we probably end up dropping more bearish, at least to 147.52, and I think that can break too. That is quite the amount of downtrend red candles. But obviously Bitcoin's going to determine a lot for that one. We got CVX. I saw that 158 for a second. I was like, what? You guys see that? That was crazy. Let's see. Interesting hammer from 3 trading days ago. Okay, volume on that one. Not a bad open. You do have resistance. I don't think it's a huge one, but you do have some resistance at 142.33. Your 20 EMA is going to be at 143.19. Probably taking a break of that hammer would be decent. Also a retest gap. See if this one wants to pull back a little bit. Somewhere around 141 would be a decent spot to try. That one didn't have volume. Yeah, I guess your next big volume candle was this one, and then you're looking at like 142.33. I don't know if there's huge upside today, so I'd want that pullback on that one. SLV. I think after the election, probably some of the oil stocks start to get a pop, like a bigger move at least. SLV. That one still looks good. Again, this is a retest gap. It might not work the same just because it is silver. I could see targets today, 28.64. Would probably want to wait for a pullback. I don't know where I want that pullback to be though. I guess I'd have to wait for at least 28.14 and then target for today 28.62. That seems decent. I think we also have a decent downtrend too that we're just sitting at the high end of. No, we kind of broke that on Friday. That was a good gap on Friday. I think Cheryl, you made some money on Friday on SLV or silver, if I remember correctly. Yep, we said yep. That looks good. I'd still see if there's a little pullback, but maybe since we broke this downtrend, you could probably start getting out of this, at least on a swing trade. I don't know about today, but I think on a swing trade, it looks decent. Decent to continue. All right, let's see what else we got. Amazon. Amazon for William. We are at a spot where I think we almost have to pull back. Phew. It did have a nice breakout on a wave count basis. I'm guessing this is probably, it looks like we're into a 3, but this is a 2. I think this is a 3. We've had some good momentum. How do we close on Friday on this one? I think we close underneath the Thursday resistance, or we closed right at it. Probably a little bit of a retest. This one probably gets bought up at open, but watch 146.47, 186.47. I think we have one level of support, which we're below. No, we're not. That's not it. Big support on this one. If this one wants to come down, look for 184.04, and then I think we could probably maybe see 183.41. At open, I do think this one probably gets bought up, but I don't know how much of a range. So I think we retest on this one, and then that's probably a better opportunity to go short, at least just in terms of risk reward. But I do think if this one has to go, I think this one can go higher. The momentum's starting to come in. I can see us back in that $200 range, where Jeff Bezos decided that's where he would like to exit. But I do think we probably need a little bit of a pullback. I would like to think that this 183.32 would be that spot where probably some bulls are just sitting out there to try to get in on that one. Oracle, ORCL, Oracle, and then BRCC. Let's get to that one next. Oracle had a good pullback day after their rando conference where they're going 5 years out on earnings. So a little bit of a gap up. See if this one ends up fading. If you do want to try this one long, which you got momentum at least at this point, this entire move was a retest gap. So I would look for some kind of pullback today. See if you get 162.17 if you want to try to enter long on this one. Otherwise, you are chasing at all-time highs. So the lower you get in, the better. BRCC. So this company, I have no idea. No clue. Non-durable goods. Also under $5 as well. The downtrend on this one's pretty brutal. That being said, at least recently, so if you're gonna try on this one, and I'm not a huge fan usually of when you get a straight plummet into a double bottom, that shows that there was probably some weakness, and this is all just kind of like maybe a little short squeeze, and then you're kind of back into that longer term trend. That being said, you do have a decent opportunity for a double bottom if you're gonna try it. So I would throw stops at like 315. I don't know if I'd want to enter here yet, but maybe somewhere above 343 for an entry. So yeah, give me like a 345 entry and then maybe a stop at like 314. And I think at least on that point, you get some good risk reward. And again, if it gets stopped out, it's not really a double bottom anymore, but I think that's what you'd probably be shooting for in that one. Yep. We got time for one more, I think. One or two. Starbucks. Brian says Intel lost their contract for Sony to AMD, but they're still up for possible grants to make chips for the Pentagon. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Intel goes out of business. I don't think Intel's going to zero. So I think there is some spot. Just be patient. Be patient, add on dips. And I think the longer term, I think they do probably reverse their trend a little bit. Starbucks, at least, I mean, they don't even have to do much to just be better than where they're at now. So, so I think it's a low bar. Starbucks, this is a little bit of a retest gap at open, kind of underneath a support that I would like to hold. So maybe this one actually doesn't really give us too much. Quick flash up, high wave candle. I think you actually have a little bit of a potential pullback on this one to 97.65. If you could break 97.65, I'd even go lower, 97.60. That's where I think you get a good short into the reversal goes. But for right now, it's kind of just chilling, maybe a little bit choppy. We'll see. But everybody, that is the opening bell. So everybody on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. We got a big week ahead of us. We got a big week. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow.